Hello, this is our object pool presentation, the research that we've done um, on this design pattern. And first, we'll hear from Aaron about the problem as well as uh, the solution that object pool presents.
Thank you, Grant. Imagine if every time the United States Air Force wanted to scramble a fighter jet, they had to first manufacture it. Every time. Not only would this be extremely cost inefficient, but it would be completely impractical for their needs. This problem actually exists in computer science as well, especially when object instantiation can be costly. So what do you do when the client needs fast and predictable access to an expensive resource? Well, you use what's called an object pool. It's a system for having a collection of the resources already created, and the client requests to use one of the resources, which are then returned soon after. In our fighter jet example, it's the equivalent of storing the jets in an aircraft hangar before scrambling them. And now I'll let you take it away, Spencer.
Awesome. So real quickly, we're going to go over some of the advantages and the disadvantages of the object pool design pattern. With the basic setup, some of the main advantages come from the object reusability that is presented from the pattern. In that it improves the performance, as you don't have to create too many objects. You don't have to worry about that, about removing them, deleting them, whatever. So that improved performance is really important. It creates better resource management and better scalability as we are reutilizing those same objects within our object pool. So those are most of the advantages. And if we look closely at the disadvantages, we'll see that they're kind of linked to the same, major pro also brings some cons. And so it creates some increased complexity in that it's really difficult to design objects that work with multiple different clients. It also can create some lifecycle management issues, as again, it's just really difficult to make that many objects work with one main program. And it's also just really difficult with the limited flexibility because you can't create multiple different objects for separate problems. As well as thread safety concerns. If you're utilizing that many objects that work with multiple different clients, it can be very difficult to make sure that that is safe. But those disadvantages can be mitigated with proper planning and good creation.
All right, the object pool lifecycle is super simple. It's just a creation, validation, destruction cycle. The pool itself is created. As needed, you add objects to the pool. As needed, you pull objects from the pool. And then when you're no longer using the pool in your application, it's best to destroy it because the reason why you're using the pool in the first place is because these are objects that are taxing to the program. So if it's possible to destroy it at some point, it's best to destroy it, but you can always create it again at another point in the application if need be. But that's just kind of an overview of what the life cycle looks like.
All right, I'm Logan. We're going to go over when to use the object pool. The main time you want to use it is when you have a limited amount of space, and you also want to increase the performance of whatever thing you're working on. One good example is a server that has a lot of traffic and components and threads. There's a lot of them, and you don't want to be creating and destroying these objects all the time. And so you can just create an object pool that will reuse them, which will be much better for performance. One time you should use it is if the resources are not equal, such as when objects are named or you have different types of objects. All right, next we're going to hear from Bruce about real-world applications and use cases.
Okay, so we're gonna talk about this three major real-world application and use cases about the pooling. The first one is a database connection. That once it's established, so and pooling allows the application to reuse the existing connections. And the second one is thread pools. In many server applications, it's beneficial to limit the number of concurrent threads to prevent system overload. And the last one is memory allocation. In memory constrained system or real-time systems, object pools can help reduce memory fragmentation and allocation costs.
My name is Scott LaFall, and I'm with Team 3. I'm here to talk about the major differences with and without object pooling. Some of the major differences without it are inefficient object creation, frequent garbage collection, increased memory usage, much less efficient, a lack of resource management, a controlled or efficient resource management, and reduced reusability and adaptability and so forth. And then to talk about the major differences with object pooling. object reuse, minimized garbage collection, optimized memory usage, centralized resource management. An object pool provides a centralized management facility. And last, improved performance and scalability. Thank you.